everyone! Welcome back to Belle's Library. I'm Heather. And today we are going to continue my Strangeathon readathon adventure. So I have actually already done a Strangeathon vlog for the first 3 days of Strangeathon, and now we're moving into the last 4 days. So if you haven't watched the first 3 days, I will have it linked up above and down below for you guys. I definitely recommend watching that one. I do give a little more detailed description of the books I'm trying to read and what prompts they fit, and just more info that I'm not going to do in the beginning of this one. I will show you the 2 books that I'm hoping to finish in this last 4 days. I finished 2 books in the first vlog, so definitely go check it out. I'm really feeling like I did a pretty decent job with that one, and I'm excited for how it's turned out, so I really hope that you guys will go check that out. And I hope, if you haven't already, that you will subscribe to my channel here, and if you want to check out my Goodreads and Instagram down below, they'll be linked for you guys as well. So without further ado, we're just going to really quick talk about the 2 books that I am aiming to try and finish in the next 4 days. I'm pretty sure I can do this, because I finished 2 books in 3 days, and so we can finish 2 books in 4 days, right? So the first book that I have here is Crown of Feathers by Nikki Powell-Prado, and just the smallest, briefest synopsis, because again, bigger synopsis in the other one. We have Phoenix Riders, and they kind of get taken out. They were in charge, and now they're not, and now we have someone who wants to bring them back, and the Empire's like, we don't want that happening. And then there's like a queendom in here as well, and there you go. That's my general synopsis, really quick for you guys. But I'm really excited to get into this one. It's just under 500 pages, so I need to read around 120, 125 pages a day to make it through this one in time. And I definitely feel like I can do that, no problem. I do a lot of my reading at night, so probably most of that will happen then, and we'll just have some vloggy stuff during the day. But, you know, you never know. Maybe I'll get some reading in during the day. So there's the first book. And then for an audiobook, I have The Library at Mount Char by Scott Hawkins. And this one, there's these girls who are being tutored by this guy at this library, and they think he might be a god, and then all of a sudden he goes missing, and the library is not protected anymore, and people are coming for it. So that's kind of my general knowledge on that one. I looked at how long this audiobook was. I was like, oh, it probably isn't too long, right? It's a 16-hour audiobook. I was like, oh man. So in the 3 days before, I finished a 12-hour audiobook. So I'm like, I need to finish about the same amount a day to get through a 16-hour in 4 days. So about 4 hours a day, yeah, of the audiobook. So we'll see how that goes. Some days I definitely can listen to that much, if not more, and then other days it's a little less, so I imagine that it's probably not going to be super equal, but we'll see how it goes. I would like to finish both of these books, and I think I can totally do it. And then I am missing a book for the last prompt, which is folklore or mythology or something. So if somehow I just fly through these and I end up having a little bit extra time, we will maybe slide a book in with that, like a graphic novel or something short or something like that. We'll see. But that's where we're going to be at right now. So let's see the next update. Greatest at vlogging the last couple days. Now it's Saturday, so we're in day 6 of Strangeathon here, and yeah, I was doing so good the first few days, and things have kind of gone a little wonky the last couple days with reading, life, all that stuff, all the vlogging. So Thursday I do have a little bit of footage of me and my daughter doing some sewing and stuff, but then later that night I ended up getting a headache and a migraine, and I couldn't read, and it just wasn't a night that any of that really happened. And then yesterday I got a good chunk into the library at Mount Char, which is my audiobook. I'm like 4 hours into the audiobook, and then I tried to read a little bit of Crown of Feathers last night as well, but I was having a hard time focusing. So I'm on page like 50 or something. 55. So I don't have a ton of updates on this guy, but I will say that I'm really intrigued. I'm liking the Phoenix Rider kind of concept. I was really shocked by this last chapter, and the way it ended, I was like, oh my gosh, no! And it just like already is like breaking my heart. But yeah, it's been really interesting so far. There's like these little quotes at the head of each of the chapters that kind of, I don't know, they're kind of interesting. So like this one says, "We clung to each other in our grief. Her suffering was my suffering. Her pain was my pain." So kind of like this little quote that gives you an idea of where we're going with things. And then sometimes there's also, at the end of some of the chapters, there'll be a little blurb like this, and it's like old tales or information, like it's talking about some of the first Phoenix Riders and kind of telling you some of the history behind all of it. So that's kind of interesting too. So I'm definitely enjoying it. It's intriguing, and I want to get more into this, but we're really just like laying the foundation of the different characters and the world so far, so I don't have a ton of updates there. The library at Mount Char is so confusing. Oh my gosh. I didn't realize how just confusing this book was going to be. I figure, I mean, I'm only like a quarter of the way into this audiobook, so we've got time to like figure things out, and I'm not like mad that I'm confused. I'm just confused. Like there's a lot of, I'm trying to figure out all the characters. There's quite a few different characters that kind of are learning under this god guy, whatever, father, that's what they call him. But they all have, he basically assigns them like an area that they have to learn, and they're not allowed to talk to the other people and teach them about their area of learning. I can't remember what they call it, but her main character, Caroline, she's all about languages. So she's learning about words and language, and she knows like a ton of languages. But there's also like one person who like communicates with animals and works with animals and is very there. Another girl that learns about like medicine, and for whatever reason, like they get in really big trouble with father if they teach each other about their own areas. And they just need to really master this. And so now he's missing, but they can't get to the library for some reason. Like they start bleeding out of their eyes or their nose, and like just have like a whole systemic reaction when they get closer, and the closer they get, the like sicker they get. But also there's something mysterious about Miss Caroline, our main character. She's not telling us in the story something. She's keeping things from a lot of people, and I'm not sure what that is yet either. But overall, kind of confused and just lost a little. So I'm hoping we just slowly get to learn more and it gets a little more clear somehow. So there's my updates for now. I'm really gonna try. I have 2 days, they're both weekend days, and that either means I'm gonna get a ton of reading done or I'm gonna get no reading done at all. That's just how the weekends seem to work for me. I'm hoping it's the first and we just can blow through these 2 books and it's gonna be awesome. I will update you guys soon. Day of STRANGEATHON here, and oh my gosh, these last few days I'm just flopping so bad. Yeah, I'm definitely struggling a little bit to finish off these last couple books, but I did finish the library at Mount Char. So while I was working on my puzzle, I watched the STRANGEATHON live show last night, and then I also was listening to my audiobook, and so I finished that one up, and it was like the most strange and unusual and different story that I have read. It was just I don't think I've read anything quite like that. It went in some different weird directions that I didn't see coming, and it was very unique. The storyline was definitely very unique. Lots of different characters. I think I was slightly disappointed with how early I was able to kind of pick up on some of the stuff that was going on with the main character. I would have liked to have maybe have had a little more shock value, but I don't know that that's what the author was really intending. I think he was purposely giving clues that there was something more going on there. But yeah, I don't know, maybe a little more shock value there would have been nice. But yeah, I don't know. I can't totally fully land on how I feel about the book. I think that it was well written and yeah, just a really unique plot line and kind of different and interesting. There were some interesting characters, but like also I don't feel like fully like 5-star enjoyment. Like it was amazing, super fun, but I also don't feel like it was a 3-star average. Like I definitely enjoyed the fact that it was different and it was challenging what I usually would read and gave me a different storyline, and there was a lot of things I did quite enjoy about it as well. So I think it's landing at a 4-star. I definitely found it to be just kind of different and interesting, and it fit right into my reading for this week for Strangeathon. And definitely an odd setting. The library was definitely kind of different, and just the people and how this all worked and the world and creation of this universe and how it kind of worked. I don't know. I don't even know how to explain this book. It was very different. If you're wanting something it's a little off, strange, I would pick this up. It's gonna give you something kind of different. So that's where I'm at there. Now, Crown of Feathers is where I'm not doing so well right now. I don't have the time all of a sudden, like at night. I just haven't had a moment. I'm almost on page 80. It's like 480 page book. So I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna try and read for a little while and see how far I can get into this, but I just don't think I'm gonna read 400 pages today. So I don't know if I'm going to actually finish this book today, but we're going to make a gallant effort and see how this goes. And I will let you know. I think part of my problem today is that I keep wanting to go back and finish my puzzle, which is going really well, and I've been making good progress on it, and I'm like, I just want to finish it, and I keep kind of getting pulled back to it, and I can't physically read if I'm staring at a puzzle, so, you know. I was even like, oh, maybe I'll put another audiobook on, or I'll do some booktube videos while I'm doing this puzzle. And I was like, no, I really need to go read that book. I still have 2 more books that I need to finish that are physical reads for Belle's Bookland by the end of the month. And I think like one more that's not on there, but is part of my TBR or something. It's just not gonna happen, but I would really like it to, because I really don't want to take a bunch of punishments. So that's a thing. Having readathons and Belle's Bookland has been very interesting this month, because I think, yeah, I've participated in 3 different readathons at this point. So yeah, it's been an interesting month, and I really enjoyed Strangeathon. It's been really, really fun to be in on this one. So we're going to see if we can finish one more book, or at least get a good chunk into it. I'll talk to you soon. Later in the evening. I got a little bit of reading in. I'm on page like 120. I just took my daughter to bed. I just was having a hard time because she was distracting me and needing some attention, and so I just needed to mom for a while, and unfortunately my husband's not really feeling good, so he wasn't really, you know, bouncing in there and helping either, and I was kind of trying to take care of him, so not a lot of reading has happened today. But I'm on the couch getting comfy. Everybody's in bed, and I am going to try and read a bit more of this guy. So yeah, we'll see how far I can get. And right now, so we're following like 3 different perspectives. We have Veronica, who is one of the sisters that they talk about in the synopsis, and she and her sister like find some phoenix eggs, and she really wants to be. They both want to be phoenix riders, and then her sister ends up betraying her, and she takes off, and she's trying to find and see if other people have phoenixes, and maybe some other phoenix riders are in hiding right now, and she's trying to figure out if she can find some and kind of, you know, get in with the phoenix riders in some way in that way. So we're following her journey, and then we also are following Sev, and Sev is working as a soldier for the Empire, and he's hiding the fact that he is an animage, which you have to be an animage to be able to talk to animals and to be a phoenix rider, because you have like a certain bond. And but right now, because the Empire is very against phoenix riders, they don't like animages, they tax them to death, they are treated bad, and a lot of them end up in like servitude in some way. So he's hiding the fact that he has this ability and is instead a soldier for the Empire, but he wants to try to escape, and has inevitably run into someone who's kind of caught him that is trying to gain a lot of information, and it's like, I can use somebody who is, you know, in your position and can get information for me. And so trying to kind of work against the Empire. And so she's like, you're gonna have to help me, otherwise I'm gonna let him know what's going on, and then once you help me, I will help you get out of here. And then we also are following Tristan, and Tristan is a phoenix rider, and his father's like the commander of a bunch of, I think there's like a dozen of them, but the commander, he only takes boys to be these phoenix riders, and Tristan he seems to be like kind of the misunderstood type. He wants to be seen as, you know, more, and everybody just sees him as this weakling and fearful and just not with it, and he has, you know, ideas and things that he thinks would be good, but his father's just like written him off, and, you know, some daddy issues happening there. So kind of following some different perspectives, and I think I kind of can see where definitely like Tristan and Veronica's storylines have just kind of run into each other. But yeah, there's a certain character that Sev is kind of involved with that I think is connected to Veronica in a certain way that is going to be very interesting in the future of this book. So I'm excited to see where that goes. So I'm enjoying it. I'm still kind of getting into the story, and my mind's just super distracted today. Like, I'm reading, and then I'm like thinking about other things, and I'm like, what did I just read? And it's like, I'm like reread things, and so I'm hoping tonight it'll be a little quieter, and I can just sit here and just read, and maybe actually get somewhere here. So that's my little update for you guys at the moment. We'll see how far I can get and whatnot for the end of this readathon. But I'll talk to you guys in a while. Alright guys, I'm here to do my last update and say goodbye for Strangeathon. So last night I was working my way into this guy. I'm, you know, about halfway, I would say. At I think like 220 or 230 or something like that. So yeah, pretty close to halfway. I'm enjoying it so far. I don't think I have a ton more to add than what I had last night. Our characters are starting to interact a little bit more. We're just learning a little bit more about some of their background, and I think that's nice to get to. I think it does take a little bit longer when you have multiple perspectives, and so the fact that this book is a little bit longer, I think, does help with some of that, so I have some time to feel connected because I'm just starting to feel that. And so I'm really hoping that that kind of continues and gets a little bit better from here. So I'm excited to just kind of see where the story's going to take me, but you'll have to catch my wrap up to check that out. It should be out on Thursday, so just a few more days. You can find out how my final feelings and readings and everything were for this one. But otherwise, Strangeathon went really well. I finished 3 books. What Big Teeth by Rosa Szabo and Obsidio by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff were finished in my first vlog, and then I finished The Library at Mount Char in this one, and they were all good books. I really enjoyed all of them. So I hope you will check out my other vlog if you haven't already, and stick around, subscribe, because this next month we're gonna have some more fun readathons, and I'm really excited for Summerween and the Tarot readathon, and it's gonna be a blast. So stick around so you can see some of those. Talk to you later. Bye guys.